Hello, Paul McFarland here. You know why I'm here. And if you don't, you're going to find out. I'm here to talk about Chiat, the greatest agency, in my opinion, in history so far. And about some work, why it's great in sort of an eternal, universal way, and how to think about it in this day of filters upon filters upon filters upon filters upon filters in TikTok. We're going to talk about this isn't the work, but this is the idea. This. When the iPod came out. Okay? You know this campaign? The dancing silhouettes? All the different versions with the psychedelic backgrounds and the billboards and the videos and everything with the iPod. And the white cord. The white cord. I'm just going to assume you know these. And the point I'm going to bring up is this. In life, in media, in culture, in advertising, there are trends. There are trends. Look at the ads from the 1920s. Black ink, 47 different hand-done, typefaces crammed into a small bit of space. The romance of the 40s and airbrushing and, the 50s, that very repressive. You had to be white and male. Well, anyway, at the time that this was done, where were you when the iPod came out? We'll call it the 90s. It was a big change. First of all, it was a change of personalization of technology. In many ways, Apple represented a democratization, as Steve Jobs used to say it, and a personalization and an individualization of the experience. What you do with your Mac versus what everyone has to do on their PC. That train kept going further and forward to the point where music and a way to take it with you and listen to your music became isolated and personalized. So the great team who did that said the visual does it all. And that iconic white. You could always tell when someone had a new iPod because they had the white. But that's just the look of it. But what was interesting to me to talk about today is that where is that today? Where is that personalization, individualization, and really isolation going? Well, I think you know. We'll talk about it. But what was so brilliant about this was saying, how do we depict what it feels like to be out in the world with your music in your head only? There it was. The dancing silhouettes. Flying hair, expression, the sort of fashion cues of the 1990s that came back and revisited the psychedelic age. Come on, Fruitopia, everything else, right? And the tie-dye backgrounds they used and the great billboards, they were just boom, because just like the Nike billboards I've talked about incessantly, they stood out anywhere you put them because they were beautiful and they said almost nothing. One little line of type, Apple logo. When you can say everything you want to say to get people interested in something just with the visual. The great Neil French says, every ad has probably a headline, body copy, a logo, a slogan, and some kind of visual. Well, if you can do your ad with just one of those, you probably got a great ad. I agree. So that visualization of the personalization of the music individualized experience went kaboom with that campaign. So it was great. Billboards and magazine ads and everything. In a way, even showed up in this ad. In a way. The personalization. That woman's dancing around. And when are we finally going to stop dancing in every damn commercial? But anyway, the point is that she's by herself. It's that music, kind of overwhelmingly immersive, personalized, isolated experience. When you're listening to music and it's your music that only you listen to. I don't think there's... Yeah, there is. Here's another example of the campaign. So, in fact, in a lot of ways, the 50th anniversary book is no longer about the writers at Chiat Day, but the grand visual gesture, the iconic visual from something you remember or something done. Oh, yeah. Yeah, here's the other one on the other side of this page. They were also in bus shelters. See, a minimum of text, but there is the dancing silhouettes. Haha, if you got the white cord. See? Now, they've got text on a bus shelter, which makes sense because you're standing on the street. You're not driving past it. I mean, you are. But for the people on the street, 10,000 songs in your pocket. Works with Mac or PC, the new iPod. Well, that was even for the new one. So the point is that personalization that we see now. We've talked about the personal brands and social media being social. And the fact that mobile phones connect us so well, but we're so isolated too. Now, that isn't just Zen. That isn't just Zen. That's actually where we're going. We will no longer have bodies at some point. We'll have consciousness that will just be in whatever state, whatever space we want. Not in my lifetime. Whew. And if I achieve complete enlightenment and I transcend rebirth, then I won't have to live through that. But if I do, I have to live through it, I'm sure I'll be cool. But in 2022, personalization of media, we seem like we're just kind of keep hitting the same wall. See, back then, it was a new expression visually, what that meant to imagine. But we keep hitting that wall. For all the buzz about the metaverse, all it is experiencing something, again, in a very, very personal way. Ooh, wow, wow, that you can't share with anybody. Other people may be in the space, but so in 2022, if you have a product, a service, a client, a business, excuse me, that provides a personal service, an individualized service, maybe through immersive media experience, yes, but a personal service that could be a hotel, a restaurant, a personal coaching or therapy business, anything that really, really is about being the recipient of something all by yourself. Massage, a dentist, a doctor usually, right? Why not express that in that same way of pure art? In other words, when you have a product that everyone knows what it is, what is there to say? Maybe make it look like something amazing. Or if it's a new product or a new service that does deliver that, take a cue from the dancing silhouettes. Art as the deliverer of the message is a wonderful thing. The 50th book celebrates the art of Chiat Day and TBWA Chiat Day, the grand visual boom stroke of campaign after campaign. The Rizzoli book is about everything, and especially about reading and writing, which is kind of sad in a way because we keep hearing that nobody reads anymore, or except for all those ebooks and all the sales of hardbound and paperback books that are exploding and people's libraries growing. And no one has an attention span, except for I watched 10 hours of The Offer yesterday. Or the fact that, you know what I mean? We keep hearing it, people aren't, but people are. Isn't that interesting? Very interesting. Maybe in the same way World War II was interesting. But what I'm very fascinated to think about and hear what you have to think about, the idea of delivering what a business is, a product, a brand, or service, purely visually, when it is connected to a completely isolated personal experience. Chiat did it really, really well. They maybe set the bar for many others since then. You know, if you look at most of the metaverse ads you've seen right now, they're showing exactly what it does, which is not imagination. Music can't be seen, arguably. And maybe the metaverse can be seen, and that's why no one just paints an abstract expressionist version of it. Or maybe they have, and I just don't miss it. It was interesting the way this grew, because this is the other thing I wanted to mention about this. The way it grew is that if you use the desktop iTunes at the time, they had a thing they finally got called a music visualizer. So when I used to have parties, you know, and when I lived in Aspen, Colorado, a small little tiny place we lived in, we would fill it with people, and I would have to do the music with my great speakers, and I would set the screen with this abstract expressionist animation that would go on. And people used to love to look at it while the music was going, you know, to kind of feel it and say, wow, Paul, what's that? Because, I don't know. Think about this. Isolation, individualization, technology, immersive experience. How do you promote it? Maybe the real interesting thing to do is let people read about it,